Probably all of us have some kind of resentment, sometimes subconscious resentment. And I think we need to start off by saying that resentment is toxic. And there are 5 Bible verses that the Holy Spirit may use to reveal to you that you actually have toxic resentment poisoning. So here are the 3 verses. First is Job 5 verse 2. Resentment kills a fool. That is pretty blunt. But let's just kind of ponder that. Resentment kills a fool. So ask yourself, is your heart becoming cold and dead toward a specific person? You know, you've got a grudge against someone, your heart's just becoming cold and dead toward them. Do you suck the joy out of your own life by continuing to tell and retell the story of what this horrible, despicable person has done to you? And you kind of suck the joy out of your own life. Do you feel hopeless and lifeless because of this resentment? Because resentment kills a fool. Also Ephesians 4, starting in verse 30, do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. And another word for bitterness is resentment. So in other words, if you let resentment take hold, that grieves the Holy Spirit. So if the Holy Spirit is grieved, then your connection to God is impacted, right? If you're carrying all this resentment. So ask yourself, do you feel kind of separated from God lately? Are you unable to experience the joy and the peace that you used to have from the Holy Spirit? It could be that you've grieved the Holy Spirit because of this resentment that you've allowed to take hold in your life. And then Hebrews 12:15. Do not let any bitter root grow up among you to cause trouble and defile many. In other words, bitterness is like a virus, like a cancer that spreads and causes trouble and damage in all of your relationships. Have you ever been around someone who is just dripping with resentment? I have. It is not enjoyable to be in their presence, is it? When they are just dripping resentment, you're like, please let me get out of here quickly. Because it's like a virus, it's like a cancer, it's ugly, right? So ask yourself, is your resentment causing you to be a downer around other people? Do you find yourself being harsh and critical toward other people? Do you find yourself unable to rejoice with other people's blessings because of the resentment that you have? So what do we do about this? Well, first let's talk about the 3 common causes of resentment. The first is current, sinful, irresponsible, or hurtful behavior by a person in close relationship with you. So it's current, sinful, irresponsible, or hurtful behavior. But I want you to know tonight that if the person that you're resenting is currently sinning against you or being really irresponsible in a way that's hurting you, then it's probably time to confront them and ask for specific changes. This is what Jesus tells us to do in Matthew 18, verses 15 through 17. He says if someone's sinning against you, go to them and show them their fault, and then bring other people in and put some pressure on them. And I was praying about this particular source of resentment as I was preparing this lesson and finishing off today, and I felt like God wanted me to tell you this, so I wrote it down. Often we develop resentment toward the person who is sinning against us because we've allowed their wrong behavior to hold us hostage in a prison of misery. I want to just say that again. Because we've allowed their wrong behavior to hold us hostage in a prison of misery. We wring our hands in despair and blame them for our misery, when maybe God is saying, confront this person, demand a change, and if they won't do it, open misery's door and walk away, at least temporarily. Does that seem overly harsh? And yet, sometimes we just continue to be oppressed and more miserable until we become a shell of a person, when God's saying, open the prison door and walk away, at least temporarily, from this hugely toxic, dysfunctional relationship where someone is sinning against you and will not stop. I know someone here needed to hear that tonight. Hopefully, maybe just one person, but someone needed to know that tonight.